My entire life, black men have been blamed for the state of the community. And in fact, ever since I came to YouTube, and this is one of the topics that I've always talked about, I've always talked about who's really to blame for the state, or excuse me, the decline of the black community, aggressive decline of the black community. Who's really at fault, right? There's a few topics that I have always talked about. I've always talked about the unfair child support system, and I've always talked about who's really to blame.
Hi, I sell deodorant for a living, but not just any deodorant. The whole body deodorant designed just for guys. Mando Whole Body Deodorant is clinically proven to block odor all day and control it for 72 hours. Plus, it was invented by a doctor right here in the USA. What's Mando's secret?
I believe logically, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going to break this logic down very simply, and you tell me if this makes any sense, right? Black men have been consistently blamed for the state of the community by everyone, by not only black women, but also non-black people, have put the onus on black men. Black men have been blamed so much that there are things that we were blamed for that we have actually improved. Black men were accused of not being great fathers. We've improved that. Black men were accused of not making enough money. We've improved that. The only person in the community that has not been consistently blamed is black women. So if black women haven't been blamed, and when I say blamed, I don't mean us black men calling them out. I mean, there's only a few of us black men that actually do that. A lot of black men still blame other black men, right? So there's only a small percentage of black men that actually call black women out. So black women, by and large, are not being blamed for the state of the black community, right? Black men are being blamed for the state of the black community. So my logic is this. If black men are to blame, and black men have improved certain things about themselves over the past 50 years, and black women have not been blamed, and the black community has gotten progressively worse over the past 50 years, logically, who's at fault? In fact, I can make it even simpler. I can make it even simpler, right? I can make it even simpler. Let's do it like this. Let's say that you have two children, okay? You have two children. Both of these children are in the same age range. One is let's say one is 10 years old and the other's 9. Let's say that the boy is 10 years old and let's say that the girl is 9 years old. Okay? Every time something goes wrong in that house, you blame the boy. You never blame the girl. In fact, when that 10-year-old boy gets blamed, he says, well, what about her? What about my sister? She did XYZ. In fact, every time he does that, he gets in more trouble. Right? Now you've sat back and you've watched as this boy has improved because of you constantly being on him. So you've seen him improve. But your household is getting progressively worse. Every time you come home, the house is still a mess. Every time you come home, the house is still a mess. The house is still messed up. The shit is in disarray. And you're like, what the hell is going on? How difficult is it for you to figure out that equation? Let me help. Is it possible that because you're always blaming that 10-year-old boy, the 9-year-old girl knows that she can do whatever the fuck she wants and she can get away with it? Because you're never going to blame her for anything. And even if the 10-year-old boy points his finger at her and says she's the one messing up the house, he's going to get in trouble for it. So there's no point in him even saying that. Is it possible that the 10-year-old boy cannot get his 9-year-old sister to clean up and do what she's supposed to do because the 9-year-old sister knows that he's going to get in trouble for the shit? And she's taking advantage of it. Is it possible that that 10-year-old boy has went around the house and picked up after her and cleaned up before you got there, but right before you showed up, that 9-year-old girl tore up the house again? Is that possible? What pisses me off to no end about this shit, what pisses me off to no end, it's very simple. Every time we raise the question, who's at fault for the state of the black community, we get one of two answers. It's either the men's fault alone, or it's the men and the women's fault together.
What happens when your motivation meets innovation? You get a wellness routine that's packed with features and light on your fit. Join us for Galaxy Live. We're breaking down the future of wellness with Samsung Health on the new Galaxy S25 Edge.
Hilton is bringing you more new ways to stay than ever before. With all new places, there's all new experiences to enjoy. Hilton for the stay.
But there's a third possibility. Doesn't it make sense by process of elimination? If blaming the men didn't work, and blaming the women and the men didn't work, wouldn't you want to try the third possibility to see if that fixes the shit? Is it possible that it ain't fixed because the third possibility is the right goddamn answer? I mean, there are clues. What are the clues? Well, let's see. If if a black man, black woman separate and they have children, if the father gets custody of the children grow up comparably to a two-parent household. This has been proven statistically. If the father gets custody of the children, it is almost like they're still being raised in a two-parent household. If the mother gets custody of the children, there is a 90% chance that child is going to be delinquent, that child is going to end up being a runaway, that child is going to end up on drugs, or that child is going to end up going to jail. This ain't rocket science. The reason why the black community progressively gets worse and is never going to get fixed because the black community refuses to acknowledge what the real problem is. It's the women. Period. Point blank, period. And the fact that our community doesn't even want to consider that shit speaks volumes. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the other side of the coin. The other side of the coin that I want to talk about is why is it socially acceptable to constantly and consistently tear down black men? In our community, you can't even critique the women a little bit without being considered a woman hater, a basher, all of these ridiculous things. But they can call us everything but a child of God. They can call us sorry. They can call us raggedy. They can question our sexuality simply because we don't want to do something that they want us to do. They can call us deadbeats. They can go in on us. And they'll have the nerve to say something about black unity and how black people shouldn't tear each other down while simultaneously dragging black men's image through the damn mud. And what's worse is they expect us to accept it. How is it K. Michelle can sit right there in front of a black man and talk about black man ridiculously and he don't say nothing? Could he sit his ass in front of any black woman and talk about them like that without them giving pushback, without them calling him a coward and weak and all these other things?
Just signed the most insane car law in American history.
It ain't rocket science. It ain't rocket science. It ain't rocket science. If you got a household and your household is always in, you got children in that house, you got teenagers or whatever, and that household is in disarray, and that household is always some shit, it's always some arguing, it's always some bickering, I can tell you who the problem is. I can tell you who the problem is. All you gotta do is point me to the child that you favor the most? The child that you never call out, the child that you never critique, the child that you never discipline, the child that is entitled, the child that's spoiled, the child that think they can do whatever the fuck they want. That's the problem child. It ain't the one you're always on. It ain't the one you're always scrutinizing.
How am I already underwater?
I'm in the same boat.
I'm in an actual boat, because I've been using Grammarly's AI for years to keep me high and dry. Try it. Grammarly can point out what's missing, right there. The CEO will want to see a deadline.
Oh.
And here you should connect the projections back to company strategy.
Yeah. Mia, can you do a deep dive?
On it. 10% higher revenue by next year.
I'm sending it in.
Budget and headcounts are approved.
Get Grammarly for your team today.
We don't do gifts, we do trips. This year's destination was Portugal, all made possible with the help of Hotels.com. Finding the perfect hotel within our budget was always the most time-consuming part of planning, until we found Hotels.com. Within minutes, we became Hotels.com members and unlocked 10% off or more on thousands of hotels. We found our perfect hotel in Lisbon, all while saving money in the process. Material gifts are temporary, but we will never forget memories like these at Artsy Cascais in Lisbon. Book your next adventure today on the Hotels.com app.
Black men is Chris from Everybody Hates Chris. Black women is the little sister on that show. I'm going to say it again. Black men are Chris from Everybody Hates Chris. Black women is the little sister. It is beyond ridiculous. The amount, let me tell you something. The amount of women on the internet talking crazy about black men, we would never be able to say the stuff about them that they say about us. We'd never be able to say it. And what makes it more infuriating is they do all of that while simultaneously playing the victim. I don't think I've ever experienced anything more frustrating in my life. They are literally causing countless problems while simultaneously pretending like somebody's doing something to them. Just like that woman talking about some, oh no, I'm not gonna be taking care of this kid by myself, oh deadbeat nigga. You didn't have to have sex with that nigga. You didn't have to have sex with that nigga. You certainly didn't have to have sex with him raw. Even after you got pregnant, you didn't even have to have a kid. But somehow he's the one that's messed up in the head. And then the funny thing is, I saw somebody say, first of all, these migrants, what they don't understand is that they were propped up to believe that they're better than black people because black people were the social experiment to prove what can be done when you make a certain group of people a permanent underclass. And I'm sitting there listening, I'm like, the only experiment that I'm concerned about is the experiment where the powers that be prop you, the black woman, up to believe that she is above her man, and then give you all the necessary tools to not need your man. And then you got the nerve to take full advantage of that, but simultaneously talk some pro-black shit. Are you serious? Are you serious? Like, they literally run around here. If you listen to them, they've made it seem like they, as black women, have went through more than what black men went through during Jim Crow, during Reconstruction, and during slavery. If you listen to them, they will have you believe that their situation was worse than black men's situation. Last time I checked, most of the strange fruit I saw was male. Last time I checked, most of the strange fruit that I saw in photos was male. And here's the bigger question. Here's the bigger question. If these women claim that they went through more than us men in slavery, right?
Make your browser fast. Make your browser safe. Make your browser Chrome. Choose Google Chrome for your computer.
It's a happy occasion when parents visit their kids in America. However, God forbid, if the parents fall sick or get into an accident, the cost of health care is very high in the U.S.
Hey, don't worry. We have Insubai.
Buy visitors' medical insurance at Insubai and take care of your loved ones. Insubai has been serving the community since 2000.
Why is swirling a thing? Can somebody answer that question for me? If they went through more than us in slavery, Reconstruction, and Jim Crow. Because if you listen to them today, what do they say? They'll say, oh, the biggest problem in this country is the white male. When they're playing the victim card in their lefty politics and Democrat agenda, they will swear up and down the biggest problem in this country is the white male. But the majority of them are married to white men. That doesn't make sense. There's a lie somewhere. There's a lie somewhere. And I personally believe the lie is that, oh, we went through so much and we were so oppressed and we were... If that were true, swirling wouldn't be a thing. If that were true, you wouldn't have had K. Michelle just sitting up there on Cam Newton's podcast talking about how white men are basically better than black men. Because that's basically what she was saying. How does that work? How does that make any sense? How does that make any sense? That don't make no sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. How do you, I've even heard black women blame black men.
Game of Thrones King's Road is now available on both PC and mobile with Google Play Games. Explore the Game of Thrones universe on a larger PC screen and get an exclusive 15% discount for a limited time only. Download Google Play Games today.
For black people being slaves in the first place. They'll say, well, we were slaves, you didn't do anything. You let the slave master brutalize us. So let me understand this perfectly clear. You're blaming the black man who was also in bondage instead of the person that put you in bondage, because to this day, you compare the descendants of the people that put you in bondage to black men and say that they're better. Now, if that's the logic that you're trying to go with, that doesn't really make sense. Now, I know what some of you white folks in here are going to say. You're going to say, well, come on, Angry Man, that's not fair to us because we never enslaved anybody. And guess what? We was never no slaves. But the weird thing is, how can a woman today how can a black woman today blame a black man today for what wasn't done in slavery, but not be upset with a white man today for what was done in slavery? See how that doesn't make logical sense? That doesn't make logical sense. The same way that she cannot blame today's white man for what white men did during slavery, she can't blame today's black man for what he didn't do during slavery. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it slower. The same way black women cannot blame today's white man for what white men did in the past during slavery, she also cannot blame today's black man for what black men didn't do back in the day during slavery. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? Correct me if I'm wrong. But what annoys me is how much longer are these women going to be perfectly content with disparaging us? That's why I titled this Black Men, Betrayed by Our Own and Overlooked by All. If you really, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you some real shit. And I mean this. If there is any group of people in this country that would be completely justified in playing the victim card, it would be black men. In fact, we are the only group of people that have been victimized the most, but are the least acknowledged as victims. I'm going to say that again. Black men are the only group of people, when I say black men, I'm talking about American black men. We are the only group of people that have been victimized the most, but are the least acknowledged in said victimhood. And how they do that is the moment any one of us shows any type of expression of trauma or victimhood, they throw that manhood shit in our face. Oh, you're a man, you're not supposed to be a victim.
You have BO, right? We all do. Introducing Mando Whole Body Deodorant for pits, privates, and beyond. It's clinically proven to block odor all day, and before you say it, Mando is more effective than a shower with soap at controlling odor below the belt.
Hi, I'm Johnny. I'm a dad. I deliver packages and flowers, and I'm a Mando customer. I was loading a package car, and my driver came through, and he was like, "What's that smell?" And I took a quick sniff, and I was like, "Oh."
How? How? So basically, you're going to use the concept of masculinity and manhood to deny black men the ability to be victims so that you can bash them and abuse them with the concept that they're not men? I'm gonna say it again. Say it again so everybody can hear this. Put your thinking caps on. So you're going to deny, you're going to weaponize the concept. So you're going to weaponize the concept of manhood and masculinity to deny black men the ability to be victims so that you can get away with abusing them physically and mentally, some of which includes denying them manhood and masculinity. So when you want to talk shit about us and traumatize us, you do so by taking away our manhood and masculinity. You do so by emasculating us, but then when we feel traumatized and victimized, you then tell us we're not allowed to be that because we're masculine. You explain to me how that makes sense. You explain to me how that little piece of mind fuck is supposed to make any damn sense. Want me to say it again? You want me to say it again? Because guess what? The only way there can be a scenario like that is when the person perpetuating it is more full of shit than anybody in the history of being full of shit. A black woman will tell a black man that he's not a man. And then when he feels insulted and says that that's not fair that you said that to me, she then tries to hold him to the standard of manhood. So I'm not a man when you want to talk shit about me. But when I'm hurt because you're talking shit about me, you expect me to man up. Miss Wendy said, what are black women really mad about? Do you really want the answer to that, Miss Wendy? Are you sure you're ready for that answer? Because I know it. They'll never admit it, but I know it. You sure you want that answer? Here's the answer. They're angry with black men because we're not white men. Therefore, we cannot give them the life and privilege that they think white women enjoy. There's the fucking answer. That's what they're mad about. That's what they're mad about. Elite Bell Zoe said no AM. No what? No what? No what?
What happens when your motivation meets innovation? You get a wellness routine that's packed with features and light on your fit. Join us for Galaxy Live. We're breaking down the future of wellness with Samsung Health on the new Galaxy S25 Edge.
When you prefer a dream vacation over a rental nightmare.
The sun type.
It matters where you stay. Hilton for the stay.
They don't love or hate white women. They just want their position or what they believe their position is. That's all that is. That's what it's been since day one. That's what it's been going all the way back to slavery. That's all it is. That's all it is. It is the psychological ramifications of being put in a position to where you're literally worshiping another group of people. That's what that is. That's what that is. It is the psychological ramification of being forced into a position where you are literally worshiping another group of people. Our women do not believe they are living the life that other non-black women are living. Specifically white women. And they are angry that we are not in the position that white men are in, or the position that they believe white men are in order to give them the lifestyle that they believe white women enjoy. That's the truth. And anybody that wants to challenge that, you can be my guest. I'm not even going to argue with you because I know it's the truth. I'm not going to argue with you about it. I'm not going to debate with you about it. I know it's the truth. I know it's the truth. And the reason I know it's the truth is because whenever these women have a problem with a black man, first thing they do is compare him to a white man. That's the first thing they do. In addition to running around here with their hair styled like white women. It is a psychological issue that has not been fixed. It is a psychological issue that has been around forever. We almost fixed it in the 70s. Almost. Almost. So much so that even today, when I say something about women not wearing their natural hair and wearing weave and stuff, I said, you're trying to make your hair look like a white woman. The first thing they'll say is, no, we're not. And I'm like, your hair don't naturally look like that. Well, there are weaves there are wigs and weaves that are designed like black women's hair. And like, they got so many damn excuses for this shit. They got endless excuses for this shit. And will say that goofy shit to me as if I was born yesterday. As if I was born yesterday. As if I didn't see black women in my family put hot combs on the damn stove and damn near burn their scalp trying to make their hair straight. Like, I didn't see that shit. Like, I didn't see black women in my family go get perms and do the shit incorrectly and the damn hair fall out. Like I didn't see this shit. I saw it. I saw it. I grew up watching women damage their hair with heat on a regular basis. I grew up in the black community watching dudes have a better grain of hair than women. I know dudes that would get cornrows, and they just had cornrows for so long, they would go get their hair done, they take their hair loose, their hair was thick, healthy, long. You know why? Because they wasn't putting that bullshit in it like y'all do. What? You can't tell them nothing. You can't tell them nothing. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. Dudes can say all day long, we don't like that. We like natural hair. And you know what these women will say? You know what they'll say? They say goofy shit like this right here.
This might be true or it might be not true. I don't care, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I think a lot of men who say they don't like women who wear weave or makeup and lashes and have their nails done and stuff like that, I think a lot of that is purely performative. I really think that the majority of men don't really care.
Or they do care, which is why they said it.
If you're wondering how I score top essay marks like these in university, one of my secret weapons is asking Grammarly to identify gaps in my essay. That's how you get feedback like this. If you think that citations take up too much time, then there is an auto citation tool that appears when you have the extension installed. These are all free features as well. Most of you already know that you can use AI to craft things like emails, maybe to a professor and you're asking for an extension. But if you upgrade to Grammarly Pro, you get access to tools that can help you turn wordy sentences into clear, effective ones. Or even a plagiarism tracker if your university is really strict on that. Now you only need one subscription instead of multiple AI tools.
I've just discovered one of the most unique hotels in London. This is Zeta Townhouse, a boutique hotel known for its quirky British style. Each room is filled with antique furniture, colourful patterns and unique knickknacks. I wanted a luxury hotel located in central London with a great restaurant for afternoon tea, and the search filters of the Hotels.com app made it really easy to specifically find our perfect somewhere. Find and book your perfect hotel stay today on Hotels.com.
You can't make this up, bro. You can't make this up. I don't care how hard you try. You can't make this up. But to further answer your question, Miss Wendy, black women are mad about some shit that black men cannot do anything about. Because the issue is not with black men. The issue is with their perception of the world. That's where the issue is at. They don't value, they can never value the black man because they don't value their self. They want the black man to be somebody else because they want to be somebody else. And there ain't nothing we can do with that. There is nothing that we can do with that. Because that's a damn issue that she got to fix. She got to work that out in her head. Another reason why y'all don't like your natural hair, because if you wear your natural hair, you might actually look like us. You might actually look like your father. God forbid. Like I said, that's not an issue that we can fix. Now, if you come across a woman, you come across a black woman that don't have that issue, shit is fine. You come across a black woman that loves herself truly, loves her skin tone, loves her lips, loves her features, her black features, her black hair. A woman like that can love and appreciate a black man. And those two people can have a wonderful relationship. Those two folks can have a wonderful relationship. And some of those women do exist. I'm not going to sit here and say they don't. I know a lot of sisters that think like that. Those sisters are taken, they got husbands and shit. But I know a lot of sisters that think like that. They usually be of the Muslim faith, 5% of God body. And those sisters usually have their hair covered. So I don't know what their hair look like. The other ones have locks.
Make your browser fast. Make your browser safe. Make your browser Chrome. Choose Google Chrome for your computer.
Building your online business? Go to Wix.com and set up your store on a single integrated platform. Add products, showcase them dynamically, and seamlessly track your inventory. Accept multiple secure payments, and design your storefront down to the very last detail. Get all the tools you need. Drive more sales with customizable gift cards and flexible product subscriptions. Retain customers with a point-based loyalty program, email automations, and reach millions with sales channel integrations. Complete your setup with a personalized analytics dashboard. Make smart business decisions and shape the next phase of your business. Build, manage, and grow from one place. Go to Wix and launch your online business today.
But if you dealing with a chick, she got weave all down her back and lace fronts and all. There's an issue there. There's an issue there. There's an issue there. Might not like that answer, but it's the truth. There's an issue there. There's an issue there. And I tell you what, any of you, if you know how to solve it, let me know. We'll put it in a book and get rich. See, in order for a problem to be fixed, you first have to acknowledge that the problem exists. And the biggest problem is that they are in denial about their psychological issue. That psychological issue is what all of the other problems stem from. You wonder why they go to Planned Parenthood more than anybody else? Because if you don't value yourself and your male counterpart, why the hell would you value the seed of that? Why would you value the seed of that? If you decide to have that child is not going to be given the proper type of love. That child's going to be cursed at. That child going to be yelled at. That child going to be all kinds of this and that. This is why you'll see mothers, if they have a child that's a dark child, you'll hear the mother calling them names. I've watched as family members of mine that were dark-skinned, I've listened to some of the names that the women have called them. It's crazy. It's crazy. And don't let that baby come out looking like his daddy. And she ain't with the daddy no more. Woo. That baby gonna catch hell. Don't let that child come out looking like the daddy and they ain't together no more.
Game of Thrones King's Road is now available on both PC and mobile with Google Play Games. Explore the Game of Thrones universe on a larger PC screen and get an exclusive 15% discount for a limited time only. Download Google Play Games today.
And y'all know I'm telling the truth. I'm not saying it to be mean, I'm just telling the truth. This is what it is. This is what it is, bro. This is what it is. And this is why what this brother had to say made so much sense.
Straight black men are the weakest link. Nah, we're just the last ones you can still publicly disrespect without consequence. Tweet reads, straight black men are the weakest link in the community. They only rise when guided by queer black men or black women. Y'all really sat in the back of a white supremacist classroom, copied the notes, added some slang and pronouns, then handed it back to the black community like it was original thought. Let's be honest, you're not offering critique, you're auditioning for approval. And the script you're reading from, been used by slave owners, J. Edgar Hoover, and the media since the jump. That tweet is just repackaged slave logic. Let's call it what it is. It's a psychological remix of the slave master's world. Straight black men can't lead. They're too emotional, too violent, too lost. They need our wisdom so they can better function. That sound familiar? That's the same slander they fed to the world to justify why we should be chained, silenced, or sterilized. Except now it's coming from people who claim to be our kin and share our skin. They only rise with our guidance, modern plantation complex. Translation, your worth is only validated through our leadership. That's not community. That's codependency wrapped in academic vocabulary. I see. Nobody says black women only rise with straight men's help. Nobody dares say queer folk need hetero guidance to evolve. all of that would be flagged as toxic. But when the target is straight black men, suddenly it's just holding them accountable. No, what you're doing is flexing power over the one group society has already dehumanized, and you're calling it progress instead. If we're the weakest link, why is everyone obsessed with controlling us? Think about it. If straight black men were so weak, so useless, so insignificant, why do so many systems, platforms, and movements focus on silencing us, policing us, and scripting us? Answer: because we're not weak, we're independent. And that's what scares people who've built their influence by narrating other people's stories. We don't need your permission to speak. We don't need your worldview to divine our worth. We don't need it. And we damn sure don't need your guidance to rise. We rise because we carry what most can't. Most people can't even recognize or see the unseen pressure, the generational trauma, and the inherited responsibility with no applause or respect. Let's talk receipts. While y'all write theory posts, straight black men are dying early from preventable stress and state-sanctioned violence. We're over-incarcerated, underemployed, yet blamed for everything wrong in the black community. We protect the same people who call us disposable, and when we finally speak, we're called problematic. And yet, we still show up, still build, and still endure. That ain't weakness. That's discipline. That's dignity. That's divine resilience. And this is exactly why straight black men need to leave these spaces alone. Let's stop the delusion. These inclusive spaces don't want empowered straight black men. They want manageable mascots. Silent, soft, and stripped of fire. They want us loud enough to defend them, but quiet enough to never call them out. Present enough to carry the burden, but invisible when credit is handed out. Loyal enough to support, but disposable the second we assert ourselves. It's not community. That's a caste system with rainbow flags and hashtags. Identity doesn't give you a license to lie on people. Being queer or feminist doesn't make you righteous by default. You still have to speak truth. You still have to honor facts, and you still have to check your ego. You don't get to mock straight black men with sweeping generalizations, then cry oppression when we clap back with receipts. Y'all do it every time. Respect isn't a one-way mirror. You don't get to dish it out and hide behind your identity when it's time to take it. Real talk. Y'all not mad at our weakness. You mad at our independence. The reason you stay pressed, because a straight black man who won't shrink, submit, or self-sabotage for your approval. It disrupts the whole equation. He won't dance for clout. He won't parrot your politics. He doesn't care about your invite to the cool table. That man has agency. And y'all don't know what to do with someone like that. Somebody you can't guilt, you can't cancel, or you can't convert into your cult. So instead, you attack them. Call them toxic, fragile, the weakest link. But deep down, you know. You only say that because you can't control them. We're not the weakest link. We're the last free black men you haven't colonized with your theory yet. Despite the lies, the slander, the silence, we still here, still building without permission, still defending without fanfare, still rising without your guidance. So next time you want to slander straight black men for clicks, likes, or clout, ask yourself, why do y'all put so much energy into tearing down the very men you secretly want protection from? Answer that. Because truth is, straight black men been holding up communities that don't even like us. And even now, we still don't fold. Not because we weak, but because we too strong to pretend weakness is wisdom. And allying ourselves with y'all is the weakest thing we can do.
Oh my God.
That's that. We know it.
My man cooked. I'm talking about, look, matter of fact, I'm going to put the link to this TikTok in the chat room. I'm going to put the link to that TikTok in the chat room. My man cooked with fresh grease. Oh, my God. Shout out to Jake. He said, I stopped myself from doing stupidity by thinking about my dad and grandpa. Both were war vets. Also, my buddy theorized that World Star was made by cops to catch dumbasses. Probably was. Shout out to Hollow Ninja. Says, still don't understand these strags. First, it is these men ain't nothing by not taking care of their child. Then it's the kids don't need a father. Wow. Shout out to Detroit 313. Said, black love is symbol of mirroring itself as white supremacy to feel superior. Shout out to Dollar Watch and said, B-dubs are the lightning bolt in Zeus's hand every time Perseus black men tries to get busy. Zap. Shout out to Free Mind G. Appreciate you. Shout out to Amani. Said they'll cuss out a white girl for wearing braids. Yep. Shout out to Miss Wendy for the donation. Appreciate you. Shout out to JC the Conqueror for being a sponsor of the show. Appreciate that, fam.
Here we go again. $100 boss up. Going down. Stack up and match up.
Let's see.
Mom, can you come pick me up? I'm scared. I can't do this anymore. It's so stressful. Hey, sounds like you need some help. Have you ever heard of Grammarly? Oh, yeah, the grammar and spelling tool. Oh, trust me, it does much more than that. Grammarly is an AI writing partner that helps me improve my writing to get better grades. Grammarly is great because it gives me high-quality suggestions for my writing. Plus, it has a free auto-citation feature that cites your sources for you instantly. Wow, that's awesome. Hey, that's not all. When you upgrade to Grammarly Pro, you gain access to Grammarly authorship that helps you prove your work is your own, showing exactly what's typed, AI-assisted, or sourced, so you can have a transparent convo with your professors if needed. You can turn this on or off whenever you need it. Sign up and download Grammarly for free today. It's a must-have for all students.
Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant starts working immediately. Wax gets stuck in your pits. Gillette, the choice is clear.
Shout out to Dreamin' Jay, he said, for this real talk. Shout out to EB, said nothing much but supporting OG. Appreciate you. Shout out to Crocodile Tears, he said thanks for the late night show. Shout out to David, he said for the show. Shout out to Dante, he said support. Shout out to Andre, he said if we ain't being blamed, they taking the credit. Shaking my head. Yep. Shout out to KGY. Said live long and prosper. Shout out to all the Vulcans out there. Up with the Vulcans, down with the Romulans. Y'all already know. Let's see. Shout out to Gazelle. Said for the show, keep cooking. Shout out to Rakim. Appreciate you. He said respect and salute to you, AM. Said Farrakhan had a point. Black people truly don't give a damn anymore how low down they themselves are. Yeah, man, ain't too much else I can say after that. Shout out to everybody that came through. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. Appreciate y'all for showing love. Those of you that hit the Cash App and supported the show. Shout out to everybody that hit the like button, all of that good stuff. Make sure you guys go check out my book, The Angry Man Standard, which is available on Amazon. In fact, let's see. Start pulling my book up so y'all can know that it's there and you can go pick it up. You feel me? Make sure you guys go check out my book, The Angry Man Standard, which is available on Amazon. All you have to do is type The Angry Man Standard in the search bar, and it will come up. It's available in paperback and hardcover. You feel me? Also, if you want to check out the merchandise, you can do so by going to shopbeanonation.com, or you can click the link on the screen. ShopBeanoNation.com. We got some ill-ass merchandise that you can check out. We got the I'm not woke, I'm awake. Real shit, you feel me? We got the balanced, noble, and dangerous. You feel me? We got the defy, expose, and build. Feel me? And of course, we got masculinity ain't toxic. Weaknesses, you feel me? So make sure you guys go over and check out some of the merch that we got over there. You feel me? Decent prices. But with that being said, y'all already know what it is, man. Salute to the whole Beano Empire. We about to get up out of here, and I'm gonna holler at you guys later. Deuces.